Welcome. This week our guest is Cheree, and a little different than some other people that we've met. She's got a knee that's bothering her, but a lot of other things bothering her too. Do you want to just give everybody a quick on why the joints are bothering you?
Well, I have seronegative RA, so I have issues in all my joints, my hands, elbows bad, knees, ankles, toes.
And it's the time of year in the Chicago area where it got cold, and that doesn't help.
No.
So it'll be interesting to see what we find just overall, like how her joints are working, if there's any that in particular that are all kind of jammed up or not, to correlate with what she's experiencing. And then she has an old ski injury that bumped up her knee, and then a couple of interventions after that, and then finally you had it.
I have a full knee replacement.
So she's got a fake one now.
A fake one, bionic one.
So you did all your rehab, got all your strength back, but what we often find with knee replacements is that there's some fine tuning that getting those muscles above and below to actually talk together instead of just fighting with each other. Okay. Lets it all work together a little bit easier. So we'll see what we find and go from there. For those of you new to the channel, I'm Cheree Lindell. I'm the founder of the Bridging Institute and the Bridging Technique. And with my background as a systems engineer and a movement specialist, we take a little different perspective on how the body works. We look at how discrete movements work and how symmetric they are, and then where transitions are working or not working in the body, and then look to support those and reset the muscles, and away you go. A little different than just doing exercises. So let's start out with figuring out how she is working so we can see where the opportunities are. Okay. So I'll just have you stand right here, and I'm just going to go from side to side, and you don't have to do anything. Okay. So she's got a little bit of movement left and right, which is a great starting point. I'd like a little bit more. It's about turning. Whoa, she keeps going. And then to the other side equally. Whoa. Okay. The good thing is you're stable. You're not falling over. And then forward and back. Okay. So this is where your knee has a little tricky thing going on. I'm pushing you forward from your shoulder, and you want to just roll through your feet, and instead you kind of rounded forward to protect yourself. Okay. And it's all automatic. But definitely, I think that leg and knee were affected for a little bit, so your whole nervous system is still a little protective. Okay. So I'm going to let you sit and just right behind, and we're going to check how core is working for you without those legs having to help. There we go. And so same thing, side to side. And actually, that matches pretty well with standing, and then turning. Still a lot of movement with turning. Wow. And right is a little bit more than left. And then back and forward. Okay, so nice and easy. So core seems to be have some little opportunities for improvement, but overall it's okay. So lay down on your back and put your head over here. And let's just see how some of the parts are working, the legs and the arms, and then how they work with your core. So I'm just going to lift. Now let me do it. Okay. So it moves, but it just feels heavy, and it has no bearing on what it actually weighs. It's just, are they connected? Okay. And when your core's not helping out your leg, it's going to feel really heavy. Okay. And then turning. It doesn't really want to turn very much at the hip. Let's see about the right one. This is the one where the knee's been replaced. Okay, I can't even lift it. And then turning, so it's very solid. So just to get some movement happening there would be really a nice improvement for you, and should take some stress off of ankles. Have ankles been bothering you?
Really bad, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because when you're not getting movement from your hip and your knee, the way, especially the hip, then your ankle's having to do a lot of extra work. Okay, so let's, you had mentioned that elbows are bothersome. How about wrists?
Wrists not as bad right now, but sometimes, yeah.
Okay, so just picking up your arm, your elbow bends pretty easily, so that's a nice thing. And then just let me It's not, it could be a little bit more fluent, but it's really not. Oh, okay. Usually I look for the transition going in, like does it bend easily? It's stuck straightening. I'm trying to straighten it, and your arm is like, no, I want to be like this. So, yeah, it's kind of like, okay, I'm good here, but like, no, I don't want to go back out here. So let's see how your right is doing. And you know what, before I change sides, let me see how everything's working with your core. I'm just going to roll you toward me. Nope, let me.
Oh.
Always the helper.
I always want to be helpful.
Okay, so arm and leg connect to your core, but it's just not super easy to roll. And okay, so let's check this arm and okay, because I want to see, does it easily bend? Yes. And then shoulder. So this shoulder is a little bit tighter than your right or your left. And then, okay, also it's stuck. Like I'm actually trying to push it down to straighten it and it's just like not having it. So really interesting. It's very opposite of what a lot of joint transitions end up being, where people have stress and fatigue. Okay, let's see how this side is doing with. Okay, so the left arm and leg, I don't feel that connectivity into your core as well. The right side, I could start to roll you, and it was just a little bit, it wasn't that easy, but it started to happen. Left, I'm lifting your leg and lifting your arm, and it's like they don't interlock into your core. So, let's see what else we have to figure out. I want to check shoulders. I'm going to scoop underneath. And boy, are they locked solid. So not a whole lot of mobility up through the shoulders. And let's just see what's going on with your head, because I think you said you had some neck pain. Okay, I'm actually trying very lightly to move your head in different directions. And I know you can move it because I've seen you, but you're having to make it happen. So that's part of the pain also, is it's a stress. Are you able to go on your stomach? Sure. So roll toward me. And just a couple of quick things. So with the knee, this is the one that's replaced. Mm-hmm. It bends, not as much as I'd like. And I'm going to support above it to see how your hip is going. Very tight. And I like to have it roll out to like a frog leg position, and it's not going to go there at all. Let's see about your left. Okay, the left knee does not want to bend. Okay, yeah, you just let it. Good. And hip is, so yes, the joints are pretty stiff. And then let's see about here. You move there. Very good. And then a quick check at the shoulder. I'm just going to lift. That is super tight. And that has a little bit of motion. Let's start with how you sleep. I think we need to get core working a little bit better, and that may let some elbows and knees and ankles relax a little bit. So do you sleep on a side or back or stomach?
Usually side.
Okay. Left side or right side?
I kind of switch a lot.
So which way do you start?
I usually left.
Okay, so face me. And I don't think you're going to be there for very long. And I'm going to give you, I forgot to grab some pillows. Let me just give you this unless it's too much. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just see. And this is interesting. It's your right. And how are we turning here? Shoulder moves really nicely. This could be a little bit better. Let's see how your leg connects in. Not so easily. So I'm going to support leg on this. And does it feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
We need to get more moving up at her hip and her lower back. And I'm just going to hold at both of them. So you've been through a lot of different things on that knee and the hip and low back, compensating in a lot of different ways over the years. So I think we just need to have the magic eraser kind of clear up some of those compensations. And So what happens is I'm supporting one end, moving another. It lets all the muscles in between. As I'm moving, it's kind of like magnets. They can figure out how to connect together again, that they've been off, shifted off because of the compensations that they had to go through between the injuries and the surgeries. And then I'm coming down a little bit because I want to be more specific about muscles from your lower back to your hip. And if anything feels a little not great, just tell me. And we need to make a change. There. Okay, so all of a sudden it got moving a lot more easily. And we got more motion between shoulder and hip in the core. And then let's see about leg. Move that a whole lot easier. And hip. So just want to get there you go. Did you feel your hip relax?
Mm-hmm. I did.
Okay, I'm supporting on the inside edge of her knee and the outside edge of her knee, which are not where the surgery was, but those muscles were probably pulled aside and interfered with or rearranged while they put in the new knee. So just kind of supporting all around all sides of her knee and just letting some turning motion connect up with her hip. A lot of your rehab was just forward and back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I find with hip replacements is there's other directions the knee has to help transition. Okay, so some more turning and see if we bend more easily. There it is. Yay. Okay, and quick little ankle. Okay, then I'm going to let you roll back on your back. Okay. And get rid of this.
Okay.
Let's just see if that helped. Okay, I can move that one. And I can move the left one now. Ah. Okay, with the left one, let's just give it a little tune up. You had some ankles that were, I think there's more to do with your ankles another day, but get the big parts working together more nicely. And elbows. So this is what we couldn't do before. So it's interesting. I didn't do anything with your elbows or your shoulders other than the right one. And the left one is already better. So let's see about the right arm. And yeah, wow, a lot caught up in your core. So I'm going to check and see how this whole side moves.
Better, huh?
It's better, yes. And the left side, let's see if it moves. I do want to refresh your wrist just a little bit. Okay, this is what this is supposed to move like. Because before I couldn't get it to move at all. But you know, roll toward your right. And let me just give you this for your head one more time. Because I just feel a little, not the ease through this hip into your core is not quite as nice as the right. And since we did so much work on the right, let's just make sure that the left is really just nice and easy. So it's really amazing with so many people that we meet who have knee, elbow, wrist, ankle pains, even shoulder and hip, is that when the core can relax, it seems like it lets out some slack everywhere and everything starts to move more easily. There. So we're kind of taught that the core is central to everything. Like we need to have a strong core, but sometimes we need to have a relaxed core.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. There. Okay. Oh, that's much nicer. Okay, so roll back on your back. And let's just see, because the other thing we checked earlier was at your shoulders. They didn't move. And they could move a little bit better. And I'm curious if your head moves now. Oh, yes, it does. And forward and back. Yeah, all the different directions. Okay, I tried to do all of those before and didn't move. So, yeah, some of that neck stress should disappear as well. So come on, sit up. And let's check in with how the movement is sitting. So you moved pretty well before, but I felt like some control was missing. And this is actually much more controlled. Wow. It's like your core is kicking in and saying, hey, I got this. And same with the turns. And that you were turning a little bit more to the right than the left. That seems pretty even now. And I want to make sure your head is all in the center. Good. Excellent. Okay, stand up. Let's see how you're doing standing. Get us untangled here. Okay, so just stand. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go side to side. Can you tell how you're moving differently?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then turning. And the thing that I did not recheck was when you were on your stomach. So another day we'll do that. But you're just moving with so much more control and ease. It's just a very... Okay, so before you turned, and I said it was maybe a little much, but watch what happens now when I let go. You come back.
Are you supposed to?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's very athletic. Spring. So take a step back, sit down. We're going to review.
Okay.
So very nice. So just some elastic kind of motion.
Yeah.
So what we found is all the different aches and pains, a lot of it related to the knee and then the right side of the core, which could be compensation, could have been how you fell when you injured it, like who knows.
Right.
But just getting the sides of her core working together so that pelvis, all the big muscles around the lower part of the body can actually really do their job, seem to just let everything else relax, and then getting that knee so that all around could actually relate to all the different motions at the hip. Okay. Both knees relaxed. So
great.
Yeah, so should take some stress off of all those joints. So even though she's got the rheumatoid arthritis, and that is an underlying stressor from the inside, we want the muscles still to be able to transition and work more easily, just to relieve stress overall. So love to have you come back and see how all that's working, and then we can get more with the feet and the hips to work together.
Okay.
If you liked this episode and found it really interesting to see how the knee related to things in the core and the rest of the body, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to be a guest, let me know. The info's in the show notes. And if you'd like to see what we can do for your knees and your core, we're located in the north suburbs of Chicago, and give us a holler. So thanks, and see you next time.
Thank you.